Apple cider vinegar has almost no vitamins, almost no minerals, and almost nothing of what people claim it has, and that's exactly why it works so well. If you've been struggling to lose weight, you've probably been told your body is too acidic, and you need more alkaline foods, alkaline water, alkaline everything. Stick with me, because by the end of this video you'll understand why that advice might be doing the opposite of what you think, and how a cheap bottle of apple cider vinegar could become one of the most useful things in your kitchen. Let's start with the biggest myth out there. People say apple cider vinegar is packed with nutrients, vitamin A, vitamin C, minerals. It's really not. What it does have is one single thing that matters, acetic acid. That's it. And that one ingredient is doing almost all the work. Here's the surprising part. Most people walking around today aren't too acidic, they're too alkaline. Not in their urine, not in their saliva, but in their blood, which is the only measurement that really counts. Your blood is supposed to be slightly alkaline, but for many people it tips too far in that direction. And when that happens, even a tiny shift back toward acidic can have a huge effect on the body, on how minerals move around, how enzymes function, and how active your thyroid is. A sluggish thyroid, by the way, is one of the most common hidden reasons weight loss stalls. So how does a tablespoon of vinegar fix something like that? Acetic acid has a pH of around 2.5, close to stomach acid itself. That's why it can be so helpful for digestion. If you've ever dealt with heartburn or acid reflux, here's a fact that surprises most people. Those symptoms often aren't caused by too much stomach acid, but by too little. When the stomach isn't acidic enough, the valve at the top doesn't close properly, and that's what causes the burning feeling. A small amount of apple cider vinegar before a meal may help that valve close again, which is why so many people say their heartburn improves almost immediately. This becomes even more important as you get older. After 50, 60, 70, stomach acid doesn't increase, it drops, and the stomach environment becomes more alkaline over time. That makes it harder to break down protein and absorb minerals, especially calcium. And calcium that isn't absorbed doesn't just disappear. It can end up depositing in soft tissue throughout the body. Stiff joints, arthritis, cataracts, kidney stones, gallstones, even tartar on your teeth, all of these can be connected to the same underlying pH issue. Now here's a question. What's actually causing so many people to become too alkaline in the first place? The answer might surprise you. Because it's not diet, it's stress. High stress means high cortisol, and high cortisol pushes the body toward an alkaline state. Under chronic stress, the body loses something called H+ through the urine, and H+ is, quite simply, acid. So stress literally drains acid out of your system over time. And before you reach for alkaline water thinking it might help, it usually makes things worse. Naturally, alkaline water is fine. But artificially raising water to a pH of 8 or 9 can push an already alkaline body even further in the wrong direction, making it even harder to absorb calcium and other minerals. Here's where it gets interesting. When the body becomes too alkaline, calcium gets blocked from where it's actually needed, even though there might be plenty of it stored away in tissue. Ever notice how stress can cause a twitch under your eye? That's often a sign your body can't access the calcium it needs, even if calcium levels look fine on paper. Taking a calcium supplement in that situation often doesn't help because the problem isn't the amount of calcium, it's the pH that's blocking it. A small amount of apple cider vinegar can shift that pH just enough to mobilize the calcium your body already has, and for a lot of people, that twitch calms down surprisingly fast. The same idea applies to calf cramps and to the kind of arthritis pain that seems to wander from one joint to another. Stress doesn't stop there, though. It also drains potassium, and low potassium can make the body even more alkaline, creating a cycle that feeds itself. This matters because the symptoms of low potassium are things a lot of people deal with every day without connecting the dots: high blood pressure, constipation, fatigue, even an irregular heartbeat. So when people say apple cider vinegar helped with their blood pressure or their digestion, what's likely happening is that the body is finally able to hold on to potassium again, simply because the pH has been brought back into balance. There's one more group of people this applies to directly if you eat a lot of protein, whether that's protein shakes, a high-protein diet, or something like keto. Breaking down that much protein creates a byproduct called guanidine, which is highly alkaline, and it can show up as joint stiffness, eye twitching, or arthritis-like pain, even in people who are otherwise healthy. Apple cider vinegar can help flush this out, acting almost like a natural cleanser for the liver after a heavy protein load. And here's the part that ties everything together with your immune system. You've probably heard that vitamin C helps when you're sick. But most vitamin C supplements are actually just ascorbic acid made from cornstarch, and neither cornstarch nor ascorbic acid contains real vitamin C on its own. What people are actually responding to when they take it is the acid itself. So the next time you feel a cold coming on, apple cider vinegar may give your immune system the same kind of support, because what's really helping is bringing your body's pH back to where it needs to be. So let's bring this back to where we started. Your body being too alkaline can affect your thyroid, your digestion, your mineral absorption, and ultimately, your metabolism, all things that play a role in weight loss. A simple drink, taken before meals, made from a small amount of apple cider vinegar and water, with a splash of lemon juice or cranberry juice if you like, may help stimulate the thyroid and support digestion right when your body needs it most. So here's where we land. Apple cider vinegar isn't magic, and it's not about the vitamins it doesn't have. It works because so many of us are dealing with a body that's a little too alkaline, often because of stress, and that one simple acid can help bring things back into balance. If you want one thing to take away from this, try adding a small amount of apple cider vinegar and water before your next meal, and pay attention to how you feel afterward. I'd love to know, have you ever noticed an eye twitch, a calf cramp, or that wandering joint pain we talked about? Drop a comment and let me know which one hit closest to home. In the next video, we're going deep into cortisol and exactly how stress reshapes your metabolism. So if that sounds useful, hit subscribe so you don't miss it. This video is based on research and personal experience, not medical advice. If you're dealing with ongoing symptoms, it's always worth talking to a doctor you trust.